With Vancouver Canadians pitcher Hagen Danner. Hagen, congratulations on being added to the Blue Jays 40-man roster. Talk about how you felt when you got the good news.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's a start to a dream of mine to just get one step closer to the big leagues, and getting that call was awesome. It was definitely a whirlwind of a year, especially through COVID, changing into a pitcher, and then being able to show it off a little bit in 2021 here, and it was definitely a successful year, and still have a lot more to grow. Or I grew from a lot of stuff, and definitely have a lot more room to grow. So I'm excited for this next year coming.
Who was the one who gave you the good news?
It's Corey Popham, one of our pitching coordinators. Great guy.
How's he helped you develop as a pitcher since turning pro?
He was actually the rookie ball pitching coach when I was starting to be a pitcher, and then he quickly moved to being one of the coordinators because of how smart he is with all this kind of stuff. And he definitely helped me in instructional league to try to find a new slider and kind of just let me be free and let me just keep being an athlete. That was his biggest thing, was just to make sure I stay an athlete just like I was as a catcher, and just kind of have fun with it.
How did you react about having to make the transition again? You start your pro career as a catcher, then having to go back to the mound again. And it was always talked about that pitching was really your plan B if hitting did not work out. Now pitching is your plan A, but your thoughts on making the transition back to the mound?
Honestly, it wasn't too difficult. I had always just kept it up, kept the arm strength up, and I tried not to have it as a plan B. That was my thing. When I signed as a catcher, that was my thing. I wanted to be a catcher. I wanted to hit, and finally realizing that was just making my life a lot more stressful than it needed to be. I was starting to lose my love for the game, and once I decided to become a pitcher, it's changed around a lot. So now the game is just so much fun, and I'm out there having a blast again, competing.
Well, you finally get to the Vancouver Canadians, and your Huntington Beach teammates, Dom Abadessa and Jake Broad, also made stops here in Vancouver. It looked like you were maybe going to bypass the level, but as it turns out, you do get to wear the Vancouver uniform after all. But your thoughts about getting to pitch finally in a C's uniform?
Yeah, no, it was fun. It was obviously definitely would have loved to be in Vancouver. I heard of how I've always just people talk about how great that city is and how fun it is to play in front of those fans. But I mean, put on the uniform is always fun. A uniform representing a different country, which is great. I mean, I didn't think I was going to start in high A. I thought I was going to start in low A. So when they gave me the news of telling me that I was going to be in high A, it was super exciting.
And your first appearance pitching as a pro, you wind up getting the save of the Canadians' very first win of 2021. That was a nice way to start your pro career on the mound.
Yeah, it was. It was fun, too. It was Donnie Murphy, our manager's first career win as a manager in pro ball, which was funny because my high school coach, Benji Madur, also helped coach him when he was in high school. So it's kind of just a whole thing coming together.
Kind of the circle of life, so to speak. Very nice. Talk about your season with Vancouver. It went really well. There was a hiccup, though, in between. You had an injury. Maybe just talk about the first part of your season before you went down with an injury.
Yeah, I mean, it was super fun, very exciting. It was tough for me getting out there, throwing a lot more than I had thrown, obviously, in the last 3-4 years. So that was kind of where the injury came along. I was throwing 3 innings, and that third inning, my arm started feeling really tired, body started feeling tired, and apparently I wasn't ready for 3 innings. I thought I was, and I guess I wasn't, and that's where the injury kind of fell in.
And it was a lat injury? Was that what happened?
Yeah, it was a lat strain. It wasn't too bad. Definitely, we took it more on the cautious side just because it kind of led towards an oblique too, which you don't want that to ever happen. So we took some time off, did a lot of rehab, stayed there in Oregon because I wanted to make sure I could come back for season and not be stuck in Florida. So it was a good idea to stay there, and Brandon Hammerstrom, the trainer, I mean, he helped me a ton out there too, and it was fun being out there with all the guys. I was still able to have fun with my teammates and, just make sure I got better.
Well, it almost seemed like you really didn't miss a beat. You had an outstanding month of August and an outstanding month of September. I think looking at the stats, I think you only gave up 1 run a month. I mean, that's pretty darn good, but was it just as seamless as it seemed to be? But obviously you had to put in some work to get ready again, but obviously things seemed to really work out well for you in the second half.
Yeah, no, I mean, I had been able to watch a lot of baseball while I was down. So coming back, it just made me more excited to be able to get out there and compete again. Just not being able to compete, but watching everyone else compete made me a little jealous out sitting on the bench. So I was super excited to get out there. Never felt better in my life. And I guess it showed, man. I was just out there having fun.
So having fun, but I guess what were maybe the other keys to your success with Vancouver in 2021?
I would say just being myself out there. I mean, having Phil Clark behind the plate, Andres Guerra, it made it a lot easier for me because those guys are some of the best dudes I've ever met. And I can go out to the mound when I come in the game and crack me a joke or something to ease the little butterflies every pitcher gets when they're coming out there. It was a lot of fun. I just told myself I want to be myself when I'm out there on the mound, whether it's getting excited after striking out a side, getting excited after holding the guy on at third base. I mean, I love to yell a little bit and just be myself, man.
If you had to describe yourself as a pitcher or give a scouting report of yourself, how would you describe yourself?
Competitive, ultra competitive. I hate to lose. My mindset out there is I'm going to get you out and I'm going to want to strike you out. So I don't want you to hit the ball off me.
Talk about your pitching repertoire. I understand right now it's fastball, slider. Is there maybe anything else in the mix, or are you just focusing on those two pitches?
I also have a curveball. I've always thrown a curveball since high school. I have a lot of feel for it. I like to just kind of throw for a strike, get me over for first pitch or something, get someone off my fastball. And then I got that slider in instructs, and it's been super fun to throw. It's easy for me to learn because it's a pretty simple pitch, but definitely it's working its magic. So we'll keep throwing that one for sure. And obviously the fastball. The fastball's got me. It's just gained a lot of velo within the last year, and it's definitely helping me get guys out.
I've heard you've been high 90s with your fastball. I heard maybe you touched 100. Is that where you've been at?
Yeah, I did. I touched 100 for the first time in instructs, and yeah, I've been sitting around 98, 99, which is a big jump from high school. So it took a lot of time off. Now I'm feeling super healthy and learned how to move my body right. Is
it just basically a four-seamer you're throwing right now? Any other variations of the fastball?
Just four-seamers. I let that thing ride, man.
Okay. As far as your slider goes, I know that's a pitch that's still been in development for you, but who first taught you the slider and how you feel it's coming along?
Yeah, Matt Tracy and Corey Popham, they both showed me it first. They wanted me to have something that was hard still and had just a little bit of movement, nothing too big, something I can control easily and just get the hitters, thinking it's a fastball every time and they swing right over it. I'm playing catch with it still, and it feels really good. It feels just like it felt in instructs, and that was the plan, to try not to change much from instructs, just stay healthy.
You mentioned a couple of names already, Corey Popham and Matt Tracy. Who else has helped you develop as a pitcher?
The entire front office. Just have encouraged me to just be myself out there, and all the metric guys, all the guys that are looking at all the metric numbers, they always come up to me and help me, and Evan Short is a very knowledgeable guy about all that stuff, so he's helped me a ton.
Okay, now I want to focus on what it was like having to play in Hillsboro when there was basically this cloud in the air. Was the team going to come back to Vancouver or not? And it turned out, well, you weren't able to make the trip north of the border. But I guess what was that like, pitching with that uncertainty, wondering, where are we going to wind up staying for the whole year?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it was less about, I wasn't really worried where I was going to be at, because obviously we're always moving around anyways. So it would have been super fun. We were always talking in the locker room how fun it would be to be playing right now in front of the Vancouver fans and just being in Vancouver and going to visit the city and all that. But I mean, for the fans that came out to Hillsboro, we loved that. We didn't get many fans, but the ones that did really cared, and they helped us get through the season. So props to them.
And as far as playing at Ron Tonkin Field, what was that like, playing with an artificial surface? How did you like pitching there?
I loved the pitch there, man. The ball didn't fly very, very much there, so I got some flyouts, and there might have been some balls that were hit off me that could have gone out in a different field, but you pitch Steer Park, and that's kind of what I did. And only times the ball would fly was if there's wind blowing out to left, but lefties had a hard time hitting it out to right. That's for sure. They really had to get a hold of it, and center field was definitely a dead place to hit a baseball, so it helped out for the pitchers a little bit.
Well, you would have liked pitching in Nat Bailey Stadium as well, because that's certainly got a reputation as a pitcher's park as well. Certainly not pitching somewhere like, say, Everett, which is really, I think, the high A West version of Fenway Park. Talk about what it was like pitching in the other ballparks.
I love to pitch at all of them except for Everett. That was the one where I gave up my 2 home runs, and I mean, that's also a thing where you gotta know your ballpark. You come in there and there's no excuses. Every other pitcher's pitching the same ballpark off the same mound as you. Whether that mound you don't like it or not, there's no excuses. So it's only going to hurt your own stats if you go out there and have doubtful thoughts about it. So, I mean, it is what it is, and all the other fields are great. The fans are great. I like the league. It's a kind of small base league. The farthest trip we had was 6 hours, and makes it a lot easy to commute and just kind of stay healthy and not have to ride in so many buses.
And getting Mondays off, that must have been a nice change of the schedule for you guys, considering you were lucky to get a day off in a month. Yeah,
no, that was huge. I really enjoyed that. You'd get through the week, you'd get to Saturday, and then one day game, and then you had a day off. It really made you push even harder, knowing that you had one day off every single week. I mean, it helped me stay healthy towards the end of the season, and really using that off day as a day just to let your mind ease and kind of get away from baseball, maybe go golf a little bit or do something with your buddies.
The first half of the season, you guys were neck and neck with Everett and Eugene for a top spot, and things were going pretty well up until, say, late June. Talk about the first half versus the second half, why you guys are so successful in the first half, but things didn't go your way in the second.
That's just how it is in the minor leagues, man. You lose a lot of your top players because they get sent up. You get a lot of young guys. I mean, you just have so much different talent, and it's hard to keep a team chemistry when people are moving up and down during the season. And, I mean, if you have a team chemistry, that's the biggest part about baseball, is being able to have fun on the field and play as a squad. And that's what you miss out a little bit on minor league baseball side, is where you think you got your whole team up, and then you lose a captain because they go sent up to AA or something, and now you're trying to find someone else to take their spot. So just kind of how it is. Sometimes you love to win. It makes the game way more fun when you win, but there's only so much we can do about that.
Getting back to the mound, your previous experience as a catcher, how does that help you on the mound? Because you really have a good vantage point of both sides of the pitching-catching equation.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely helps. So being from both sides, you notice how hard hitting really is when I was trying to do it. It's definitely not easy. You miss pitches that pitchers think, oh crap, that's a bad pitch, and you'll miss it as a hitter, and pitchers get away with more things than a hitter could possibly get away with. So, I mean, I know what hitters are kind of looking for when you get up there, whether they're sitting on an off-speed pitch. I don't know, that's beyond me, but I just kind of go out there and throw what I know is my best stuff, and if they hit it, they hit it. If not, then it's another good day, you know, knowing that they're always on a fastball, and it makes it more fun, makes it more competitive. When I know that when they're going up to the plate, they're trying to maybe cheat for my fastball because I'm throwing a little harder, but being able to compete with them and throw that fastball, even not being scared at all, it makes the game a little more fun.
Well, I guess one advantage for you going back to the mound again, I guess you had a chance to, save some bullets when you were catching in your previous stint with the Blue Jays organization. So I guess your arm's got to feel a lot more fresher these days.
Yes, it sure does. And my body feels a lot better as well. I'm not putting so much stress on my knees, on my hips, and I'm learning how to actually move my body in the correct positions and how to just stay healthy in everyday life. It's also allowing me to golf more.
Very nice. Okay, you had a chance to go down to Instructs at the Blue Jays state-of-the-art development complex. What was that experience like going through Instructs? It
was great, man. It's definitely one of those things where that was my fourth Instruct. So getting that call, I knew I was going to be going to that thing, so I had to put the positive outlook into my mind. It's one of those where you have such a long season and you're heading there and you're like, oh man, it's a little more baseball. I'd like to go home. But for me, I needed to show them more. I wanted to show them more, and I knew it was going to be a big couple weeks for me to show what I have and know that the decision that they had to make was coming up, and I just knew I went out there and gave it my all. So I'm really thankful that they saw that and it worked out.
How has your off season been going as far as getting ready for 2022? What's been your game plan for the upcoming season?
It's been really good. I've been following their throwing program almost to a T, working out 5 days a week. I'm hanging around Jacob Nix, who's with the Padres, who was a big leaguer in 2018, and that's helping a lot. He's teaching me how to move my body, and I'm doing a lot of PRI movement things, learn how to breathe right, and yeah, I mean it's all going all good. I feel super healthy, and the mind's at the right place right now. So.
Okay, my final question. Now that you've been added to the 40-man roster, and probably, if I had to guess, it looks like you may start out 2022 with New Hampshire. I'd be surprised if you were back here in Vancouver, even though we would like to see a pitch. But I mean, for you, you need to advance and go to AA. But now that you're getting so close, how does it feel now being on the 40-man and realizing, you know what, the majors really aren't that far away now?
Yeah, I mean, I have no idea. Just like you said, I have no idea either where their thoughts are with where they're going to send me. I'm going to spring training ready to fight for a spot. That's my goal, is to make the big leagues. So I don't want anything to get in the way of that. I try not to think about where they're going to put me and any of that stuff. It's kind of just keep pitching, and if I do well, it's going to speak for myself, and they're going to move me. And I mean, there's nothing holding them back from bringing me to the big leagues yet. So that's my goal right now, is just to work as hard as I can. It's actually making me work even harder because it's kind of sitting right there. I know I'm so close, and I want to do everything I can, and I don't want to leave anything behind. So I'm just head on my shoulders right now and just moving forward every single day.
Okay, fair enough. You're a young man, so I'm not going to take up any more of your time. Thanks again for this, and all the best to you in 2022 and beyond.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you.